couple of points I'm finishing up there. Brendan, I think you hit the nail on the head there when you talked about the length of the premium and what the farmer, like farmers are making decisions, and they're thinking of probably the next generation coming after them. And we talk here about native planting and native forest, and while the figure looks attractive, the reality is after 20 years you're going to be waiting an awful long time for any other payday. And I think until we address that issue, that there's going to be a long-term payment strategy for land, farmers aren't going to make the decision to afforestate. We're trying to afforestate better quality land at the moment due to various restrictions. And the attractiveness of leasing land over a period of 5, 10 or 15 years, anyone that sits down and do their sums is taking that option rather than looking at the afforestation option. And while the 176,000 over 20 years, but if you equate to getting 250 an acre for land and leasing, and you're getting the money tax free as well, and you're not making a life-changing decision with the land. That's one of the principal reasons why there's no decisions to be made to afforestate at the moment. The other problem, and I suppose I spoke at a forestry seminar in RDS on Thursday, and I brought up the blanket ban on afforestation in areas, designated areas, unenclosed land and peatland. I think that needs to be looked at. And a lot of environmental people are coming around to the view that a blanket ban isn't helping to create the habitats that was put there for. And there was figures at that conference prescribed about the hen harrier population. I thought about the hen harrier because there's a lot of land in my own county designated because of hen harrier. Where there's a blanket ban at the moment, the hen harrier population is dropping. And another part in the Slieve Felon where the hen harrier is as well, and where there is plenty of afforestation, the hen harrier population is actually increasing. And if we are to get an availability of forestry land, we have to look at these blanket bans and see are they achieving what we set out to achieve with them, and if we could dilute the blanket ban, would we make more land available for planting? And I think that needs to be looked at. And I said, it's not just landowners are saying this now, a lot of environmentalists are coming around to that view as well. So I think those two things need to be seriously looked at. Income post the 20 years and that blanket ban. And, we have to think that the competition for arable land is so intense at the moment, or, the better quality land, it's going to be next to impossible for forestry to compete with it. And we've seen the price of land rising dramatically in the last 12 to 18 months. And that's putting forestry, the purchase of land for forestry virtually uneconomical. So they're the 2 points. We all want to see us meeting our targets, and as you made a point, we're trying to get to equilibrium for emissions. We can't do it without forestry. So I think we have to think outside the box. As I said, carbon credits might be a way of doing it going forward, but farmers will want to see that in black and white before they'll make a decision to afforestate. But I'd also urge you to look at the blanket bans that's in place, and it has taken out of the equation. And I think, and I'm not saying that you'd say in the morning that we're going to plant 100% of designated land. I'm not saying that. But maybe over a period that every 5 years, X percentage could be planted to give different stages of afforestation growth in those areas. And I think there's growing evidence to show that that will actually benefit the habitats rather than hinder them. So they're just a few points I'd like to make.